Good afternoon, everybody. I want to answer a couple of quick questions. One of them that keeps coming up periodically is how do journeys work, and how can you do a journey from a distance instead of having the person standing in front of you? And how is it that a pre-recorded video actually has any effect? Well, the thing is, you could actually record a session with the person in front of you, and it would be a video of that journey. The difference is that the person that is actually receiving the video is after the fact. So when you go do a journey one-on-one with the person in front of you, you still have to go to their spirit, go to their energy. So it doesn't really matter if they're standing in front of you or they're 10,000 miles away, because you go to their energy of the person. So what the understanding is that I'm recording it so you can experience what exactly that I went through at that time, but it wouldn't make any difference if you're in front of me or farther away. So it's just simply, I guess the best way of describing that is that I'm going to have to go to you anyway. So it doesn't matter where you are, because you're going to the person's energy. So recording that event is the same thing as recording it. The only difference is that you're going to see it after the fact. But it actually is the same thing. So, because when you go to a person, you're not actually doing a physical work on them. You're not actually taking, washing their hands. You're not actually doing surgery on them. You're not doing dental work on them. You're actually going into their energy. So energy is an energy, it's like an energy transfer between both of us, because I go into your energy field and I do work that way. It's not the same thing as a physical touch. Not saying that you can't do it one-on-one, and in a situation like that, it actually has its own unique experiences because you're experiencing it at exactly the same time. That is a difficult thing to do if you want to reach as many people as possible, because then you're only reaching the people within your own community. So the people outside of that community don't have the opportunity to have the energy work with you. And I think that's the difference. And it's very effective because you're going into the energy of a person and not doing the physical thing, not touch or whatever. You don't need to do that. So I don't know if that explains it, but I know one of the things that when you do energy work, it's a combination of both people. It's me and you. It's not simply just me, because I can go in and do the work for you. But when you watch the video, you have to allow that work to be effective. If you block everything, dismiss everything, the work that I've done will be reversed. I guess is the best way to describe it, because I know a lot of people say, well, for instance, entities, how can you remove an entity from a person? There's a lot of entities that are directly related to you and your actions and the things that you're doing in your life. So when you go into a person's energy field and you remove these energies, what's stopping them, or what are you doing to prevent them from coming back? So the journey is designed for you to simply also remove the entity, but also be very, very open to what is being said to you, because what is being said is also part of the message, part of the healing process. Like, you can't say that, oh, well, I'm going to take away this energy of, say, what would be a good example to really describe this in detail. So okay, you one thing that you could say inside yourself is that you're always thinking about committing suicide within your own mind. So part of the journey is that you remove all that negative energy around that experience, and then you simply just start thinking about committing suicide again inside your mind. Again, all that work that's been done is going to start to be reversed, because you're actually allowing all that energy back inside yourself again. So what you need to do is listen to the journey, and the journey is going to state something like, every time you feel like going in and doing this type of thing to yourself. You need to switch that energy to something positive. You need to think of something that is, instead of committing suicide, think of a wonderful place on a beach, or walking down in the forest, picking flowers, walking through a field of flowers, sitting down with a loved one, on and on and on and on and on, playing with your kids, if you have kids, or your nephews, or your friends. It's not simply just, when you do work with somebody, it's not simply just taking the stuff away and you don't have to do anything. And I think this is the part of the issues that I have when I'm working with people, is that they think you can just simply touch and everything will be fine. Everything will go away and you don't have to do anything. Well, why was that? Why were you in that situation in the first place? Why has all this stuff happened to you up to this point? Why are you coming to me in the first place? So, and I think it's a really, really, really important that all those things that you're doing, you can't really be hard on yourself. You can't put yourself down. You can't say anything along those lines, because that's just, it's just as stupid. There's no point. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does things that is not perfect, and I think trying to be the best person you can be is all you can do. So when you find yourself in this situation, you ask for help, you will get it. But the problem is, people think that you can simply go and touch it and it goes away permanently and I don't have to do anything. The reality is that all that work that I've done can be simply removed by you simply just doing the same thing that got you in that place in the first place. It's like going on a diet for 3 months and you lose 40, 50 pounds. But then you just go right back to eating and doing exactly the same thing that got you overweight in the first place. You're just going to gain all that weight back. So it's the same idea when you do energy work with people and you remove. See, this is another thing, and it just brings me on to a topic of what exactly is an implant? What exactly is demonic possession? What is attachments? I'm telling you right now, there is no attachments. The attachment is you wanting this to be part of your life. So that's why the messages in the videos is so important, because they tell you what you need to do to remove these so-called attachments. When people go to you, say you have implants and you have attachments, you have to get them removed. The reality is nothing can attach itself to you unless you believe it can. And that's the belief system in itself is the problem. So nothing can attach itself. You don't have a physical, like the chances of having a physical implant, something that you can see and remove, is extremely rare. Extremely rare. A lot of the implants I come across are simply just belief systems. Believing that there's an attachment, believing that this demonic being is attached to me and I can't get rid of it. It's the belief system in itself that creates the problem. So, and I mean, it can be pretty severe. And in reality, has physical attributes. So when this is something, you're getting physical reactions to something, how can you say to a person that it's not real? How is it that you can say that you're the one that's creating this inside yourself? It is hard, but nothing can attach itself to you unless you believe it can, because we are energy. So we are the masters of our own energy. So if you have implants, you can simply say, I don't have any implants attached to me at all. I don't believe they exist. And poof, they would all fall off. Literally, they would just fall from your spiritual energy. The problem is that why were they there in the first place? What were you doing to attract this? What belief system do you have in place to make these things real? And one of the things that really I find very concerning is there's people out there that will say that, oh, you have this attachment, this attachment, this attachment, this attachment. You got to get them removed. So that what that does is create a belief system within the individual that they need somebody else to remove them. The reality is that you need to find out why those are there in the first place, and what you need to do to have them not be attached, or the belief system they are attached. And that's why I hate using the word attachment. I hate using the word implants, because so many times, even possessions, there's so many times it's our belief system that creates this, or it's our own self that creates these things. In not all cases, though. There's rare cases that there is an actual outside energy that is coming to you and that is actually physically part of you. That is extremely rare. What I find, we attract energies to us by the way, to whatever belief system we have inside ourselves at the moment. So if I believe I'm depressed, I am going to be depressed. And I know there's a difference between mental, like depression and states, because sometimes it's an imbalance inside your own physical body that creates depression. But there's also a part of an energy as well. There's a huge energy aspect to it. You can do amazing things with a belief system that is positive, that believing it, you have the power, that you are in control. Even physical imbalances can be corrected by your belief system. It's unbelievably powerful, because we are still energy. Even in the physical form, everything is energy. So we have the ability to change that. The problem is why are you depressed? There's a lot of people that are depressed simply because the world sucks, because their situation sucks. However, it's how you react to that creates your belief system. And when I say belief system, I don't simply say you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, you believe in Buddha, you believe in Muhammad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, it could be part of it, but it's the belief system, it's the structure of how you react to things. How you react to them, how you believe. Like, do I believe there's attachment? No, I don't have any attachments. Nothing can attach me unless I wanted to. With that belief system and the belief it, you have to believe it though. You can't just state it. And fear creates an actual belief system as well, because fear is a very destructive thing. And there's a lot of energies out there that like fear, that like anger, that like sadness. And they want to keep you in that state. So they'll do things to you to help keep you there. Now, when I do a journey, it teaches you how to overcome that. So there is work for you to do. And you have to believe in what is being said to you, because that is what Spirit is saying that you need to do to overcome this. I can relieve the stuff that's going on within you. The message in the video is for you, so you can learn to overcome it yourself and keep it away, because you are the master, you are in control. When you give that control to other things, to other people, that's when you run into problems. So I think this is because these questions just keep coming up. And when I have people say to me, well, what happens if it doesn't go away, the thing just keeps coming back? My simple state is, well, what are you doing differently to make sure it doesn't come back? Because I can take it away from you. I can teach you how to have it not come back. But what are you doing to prevent it from coming back? You can't simply just say that, oh, okay, well, you did this work. And what I'm telling you, when I do a lot of these dark energy things, it is hard work, because it's not simple, because I'm going in there, I'm removing energies, I'm transforming energies, I'm changing timelines to be, because everything is changeable. The past is even changeable. The energy around is changeable. The physical experience, you're going to still be there. If you had some serious things that happened to you, you're still going to have to live with that. But the energy around it that's negative can be changed. And the messages in the video, and even the video itself, is to help you overcome that experience, to help you move forward from that experience, and help you have that experience not to be loud inside your spiritual atmosphere again. And every single person is treated differently, and every message is going to be unique, even though sometimes it might have similar undertones. Because reality is, if you're depressed, a lot of the cure for depression is simply just believing in positive things. Change your belief system. Not easy, though. Very difficult. Because depression is debilitating. You fall into a deep pit and you have to crawl your way back out. And it can be extremely hard, but not impossible. When you think it's impossible, that's when it's going to be impossible for you to overcome. When you have energies coming to you, I've had many energies come to me over the years, and now simply, it's like I've had unique experiences lately. When I connect to certain individuals, I will actually feel exactly what they're experiencing. It's like an echo that comes to me, and it can be pretty horrific and pretty powerful, but it does help me understand what they're going through. I had an experience with somebody that couldn't sleep at night, and the person didn't tell me exactly what was going on in their life and why this was this way. But part of their atmosphere, there's a really tragic event that happened in their family. And I actually experienced the loss that he experienced. I lived in the moment. And I'm telling you, it was through a dream, though. The dream was so vivid and so real that I didn't know there was a dream at all. And I do dream like this a lot, but this was way, way, way above and beyond. I actually watched everybody like a lot of people in my family just completely get crushed in a car repeatedly. And then, but I felt it. I felt the pain. I felt the suffering within inside of that person, like it was me that was experiencing that. And I was like, it was like real to me. It was like it really did happen. And I don't know, it is something you can't really explain until you actually experience it. But what it did is help me understand how debilitating this was making him. So I actually told him about the dream, and it was very similar to what happened to him in his real life, and he never told me that. And that goes another thing. It's very important. It's not a game when you're actually doing spiritual work. It's not like, oh, I'm going to withhold information. Because if you lie, I can go into the lie, and it will still give me an answer. Because it's energy. So when you ask me to go into an event, I will go into that event no matter what it is. And that's the amazing thing about journeying, is that you can go inside yourself. You can go pretty well anything, because you go inside to the energy around that. And if it's based around a lie, then that's what you're going to get. And so it's important. It's always good to share a picture of yourself or the person that you're doing work for. And it's always good to tell the truth about exactly what you want. And the more information, not too much information, but truthful information about what it is you want me to do. Because if you try hiding things, then you have to break through the hidden aspect of things. And you're going to get maybe an answer that you might not quite thought was what you wanted, because you didn't be specific in what you wanted. So if you go in, I want you to do a journey in me, and you can leave it open, and you will get what Spirit thinks is the most important thing for you to hear at that time. And if you lie and mislead, then you're going to get a journey into that lie and misleading situation. So it's usually it's messed up, and I think that's the difference between what I do, because I'm a shamanic journeyer is the best way to describe what I do. I do soul retrieval and as well. And when you go into a journey, I go into the energy of anything is the best way to describe that. So when I go into, and that's the other thing as well, because your souls are so diverse. People's souls are so diverse. Okay, if I want to go to Archangel Michael, okay, what part of him do I want to go to? What part of his soul do I want to speak with? The dark part, the middle part? Michael doesn't have a really dark aspect of himself. not like Lucifer does. Lucifer is very, very diverse angel. Archangel Metatron is very diverse. They have dark and light aspects of themselves. Jesus is very light, very angelic energy, very peaceful, very loving. However, when you go to a person in the physical world, are you going to their soul, higher self? Are you going to the physical body? Are you going to a specific aspect of the physical body? You can go into a finger if you want to, and you'll experience that, what that is going on inside the finger. You can go inside your lungs. You can go inside your heart, in your mind. Your mind's complex because it basically takes your soul energy and transforms it into a physical experience. And it's very, very diverse, though. There's a lot going on there. But hearts is even more complex because it is the brightest energy center within the soul, within a human being. Your mind's very ego-based. Your heart is very loving, but there's also parts of your heart that can be pretty, very, very, very complex and take you to some pretty horrible things because we get our hearts broken all the time. It's hard not to in this world. So I just touched a base on a lot of different subjects, and I think it's important to understand to be truthful, honest, is always going to get you a better answer. To be lying and deceitful, well, you're going to get the similar answer as being lying and deceitful. And remember, be specific. If you don't know, it's okay, because that's also what I do, is that if you don't know why this is happening, that's what the journey does, is it actually clarifies that for you. And will give you a message that will be exactly what you need to overcome the question, to get the answer that you want. And some people say, well, I didn't want that answer. Well, that's the answer that you need, not what you want. It's like all that, there's time and time again, you hear all kinds of things. It's like you receive what you need and not necessarily what you want, because what you want isn't what you need. And it's a very good statement, because it's so true. Because we don't half the time don't even know what we need. We know what we want, but we don't know what we need. And if we always knew what we needed, then life would be a much easier place to live. I think that's all I'm going to say with this statement. And I think it's important to really, really listen to the words and how I spoke, because it really starts to get you to understand what it is I do and how we work together to heal you, and not simply just one-sided, because it's never one-sided. If you believe that it is, and if people tell you it is, then that's not truthful. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful day.